Hello and salam. My name is Huda and you can call me Teacher Huda, or in Malay we call it Cikgu Huda, as your online art teacher. So sebagai guru dalam talian, dalam episod yang kedua ini kita akan meneliti dengan lebih dekat lagi tentang semua elemen-elemen yang kita telah belajar dalam episod yang sebelum ini. So tajuk yang terbaru untuk episod kedua adalah Jom Lukis, atau dalam bahasa Inggeris, Let's Draw. Dalam episod kali ini, kita akan meneliti 3 perkara seperti berikut. Nombor 1, kita akan melihat apakah bahan yang kita ada yang kita nak melukis, and therefore we will learn how to sketch the basic shapes first, followed by number 2, how to line and draw with confidence. Garisan yang kita gunakan dalam lukisan semestinya perlu dilukis dengan yakin. Dan keyakinan itu sesuatu benda yang kita boleh belajar. Alright, dan yang ketiga, kita akan belajar tentang cara-cara nak melorek bahagian yang gelap untuk menimbulkan bayang-bayang, ataupun in English we call it shade and shadow. By giving shade and shadow to each form, we can see the object in a more clear manner and therefore make it more believable in terms of our drawing. Okay, so in this overview of things, it's more of a step, okay, langkah-langkah untuk lukisan. Yang pertama adalah lakaran, atau dalam bahasa Inggeris, sketching. Dan yang kedua, lukisan menggunakan garisan-garisan yang kita tahu. Dan yang ketiga, untuk naikkan taraf lagi sekali kepada bayang-bayang ataupun shade and shadows. Alright, let's start our class. Okay, langkah pertama dalam melukis adalah dengan menggunakan lakaran. So, yang pertama, apa itu lakaran? Apa beza lukisan dengan lakaran? Tahu atau tidak? The difference between drawing and sketching is very much in the line quality. So to consider something as a drawing, whether it's the act of drawing from your imagination, a drawing is something that is clear in its form, okay, and something that has very strong lines. Okay, whereas a sketch, you can consider it as sketching from imagination, something that you are still finding what is it, how does it look like, finding the form. Okay, and then also it is about soft construction lines. Okay, so construction lines, for example, are something like this. Like if you want to draw a cube, right, and it's like a little bit like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's a sketch. Whereas a drawing usually comes on top of the sketch. Or if you're very confident and you're just using a pen, you can just draw. Okay? So this kind of drawing is the lines that we can say, with confidence. But it's totally okay to be sketching something out, and only after you've sketched out, you draw out on top of the sketch. I mean, that's how I usually do it too. So this is just me passing on the way I do things, right? The way I learn how to do it. Because remember, this is art, and there's many ways to find out how to do something. And if you want to go with drawing immediately, it's totally fine. If you want to sketch first, I would recommend this. But again, it's really up to you. Alright? Okay, so in order to start sketching, we would have to know what are the basic shapes that exist around us. Alright? So let's think about it for a moment. what kind of basic shapes are there? We've got a circle, we've got a square, we've got a triangle. Even with these basic shapes, we're able to draw many things. For example, put a triangle and a circle together. You get a teardrop image. Turn it around, you get an ice cream cone, right? Okay, and how about the square? Put two squares together, you get a rectangle. Okay, put many and you get a grid. Put two triangles together, you get a diamond. So this is what it means by having basic understanding on shapes. Definitely there are more shapes out there rather than these three. There are shapes that we are familiar with, like a star. Okay, what else? We have kids drawing the sun this way. That's radial lines outside of a circle. So anything is formed using basic shapes. We've also got, shapes like this, like a trapezoid, that can actually be, a prism, and this can be a basic shape for a house, right? That can happen anytime, anywhere. Okay, so in order to understand what are the shapes that exist around us, it all boils down to our observation skills. So when we are able to look at something and break it down into basic shapes, we are really testing out our observation. We really know how to start. Because if you're able to draw one basic shape, you can draw many other things. So feel free to try out drawing, whether it's from the imagination or whether it's from something in real life. I am going to demonstrate drawing a plant, okay? For example, this plant right here. Okay, I'll adjust the camera in a bit, but I'll be drawing a plant for today, and I'll be showing you what are the steps from the beginning until the end, okay? Is everybody good with that? I hope you are. Alright, before we start drawing, we would have to know what materials do we have. So I have with me some pencils of different grade. I have 2H, I have 2B, and I have HB. So all of these will help me in the construction drawing of the basic shapes. And I also have some color pencils to assist in the final step of drawing. Okay, so these are the materials that we'll be using for today. Okay, so in this first step, it's all about getting the right lines and getting the right form that we want in a drawing. And using the lightest pencil that I have, I would start sketching out the basic form that I see of this image, which is a pot. There is a pot. Okay, there's like an oval there and maybe like a semicircle right here. Okay, it's not too round at the bottom. There is something sharp like that. Okay, so bentuk yang saya lukis, bentuk yang cikgu nampak, itu yang cikgu lukis. Okay, so adding some lines, putting some texture. So when it comes to the leaves on top, I'm gonna probably just draw diamond shapes because that's what I see right now. And I'll keep going, iterating the different diamond shapes there are. Okay, teruskan apa yang kita lukis berdasarkan apa yang kita nampak. Okay, so semua nampak segi empat. Okay, harap-harap jelas, harap-harap boleh nampak. Okay, we can darken it once we are confident. It's something like that, and it's curved on certain parts, like that. Okay. But at this stage, still sketching. So getting the right lines out, okay? We don't have to press too hard because at this stage, we can still erase. And if you made a mistake, you can always erase. And I realized on the plant there is like lines of different color. So just picking that up. Alright? Okay, So I think we're done with the sketching stage. And now we move on to the next stage. So what is just drawn here is actually just the first step, which is sketching the basic shapes. And we're looking at these two main elements that we're looking. And so the next step, the second and the third step, we would actually see it side by side. I will be drawing another drawing right here so you can see the difference. But in the second step and in this third step, what is important is in finding the right shape and texture. And in the third step, what would be important is to find the right color and where does it sit inside the space. Okay, so I'll be recording this in a time-lapse way so that it's faster and you can see the entire process. So yeah, enjoy the video. So Alhamdulillah, we're done with the drawing. So we can see very clearly here on the first step, it's all about sketching basic shapes. So basic shapes, which are the vase here, it's like a cylinder. We've got diamond shaped leaves. And if we add another layer to it, it's just about putting on the texture and making the shapes more prominent. So I put it side by side just for easier understanding, but the ideal way would be just to sketch on top of what you have right here. And after putting in the texture, you just draw on top of it. You just color it in. I put it into 3 different steps to make it easier for you to see that this sebenarnya selangkah demi selangkah. Okay, so bentuk-bentuk asas dia macam ni. Lepas tu bila kita gariskan dengan yakin ya, jangan risau kalau pemadam ada ke tak ada ke. Tadi tak guna pun pemadam. Cikgu tak guna pun pemadam. Okay, kalau boleh, we try to teach ourselves that the eraser is our friend. It can help us to erase things. Tapi tak perlulah bergantung kepada pemadam. Kalau tak jadi tu, kita teruskan je. Guna apa yang kita dah buat. And the next step, it's about putting in the colours, right? So when you put in the colours, jangan risau. Jangan risau kalau warna dia kena ke tak kena ke. Biasanya kita cuba dulu. Berani nak buat kesilapan. Kalau ada kesilapan, cuba betulkan balik. Macam mana kita nak cover balik warna yang terang atau warna yang tak jadi tu dengan warna-warna yang lebih gelap. Kalau tadi tak silap, sebenarnya cikgu sendiri pun buat salah. Cikgu guna hijau yang lain. So, the result is cikgu guna 4 jenis hijau tadi. Kalau kita tengok, cikgu ingatkan hijau yang ni. Rupanya tak cukup. Tambah hijau ni. Hijau ni salah. Lepas tu, tambah dengan hijau ni dan hijau ni. Dalam 4-4 tu, mungkin dia lebih jelas. Lepas tu, tambah lagi 1 lapisan warna brown. Dan brown pun tadi salah. Ada yang guna yang ni dulu, baru guna yang ni. Okay, so I think part of the art is to not be afraid to make mistakes. Kalau kita jenis yang cepat goyah kan, cepat panik macam jadi ke tak jadi, then we have to teach ourselves to be more patient. Bersabarlah dengan perangai masing-masing supaya kita boleh dapat apa yang kita bayangkan. Alright, okay, so thank you so much for the attention this far. For all the teachers who are watching, I know it's not easy to get students to come up with their own work, but encouragement goes a long way. So, katakan kalau anak murid kita tak nak buat atau tak berani nak buat, kita bagi dia langkah ni dulu. Kalau mereka boleh lukis bentuk segi 4 ke, segi 3 ke, maksudnya mereka dah boleh lukis sesuatu daripada bentuk asas tersebut. So, bagi mereka more encouragement, push them, bagi cabaran baru. Lepas tu, cuba tambah dengan colour pencil. Cuba tambah dengan pensel. Memang, it's not as easy as it looks. Tapi percayalah, kalau ada adik-adik di luar sana yang minat, tak ada yang dapat, tak ada lain yang dapat gantikan minat yang mendalam. Okay, kalau adik-adik nak cuba sampai ke tahap ni, adik-adik mesti start daripada hari ni untuk melakar dan melukis dalam sketchbook masing-masing. Alright? So, thank you so much. That's all from me. If you have a object at home that you would want to draw out, then by all means, draw it. And don't forget to share it online. And yes, you can tag me in your posting. I am on Instagram as Art by Cikgu Huda. And I would love to see what you come up with. And even if you would want some feedback, yep, I can give you some feedback on your drawing. Alright, so kita ada banyak teknologi sekarang untuk berkongsi. Tapi yang penting, pembelajaran harus berjalan. Okay? There is no stopping there. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next episode, bye-bye! Thank you for all those that has been helpful in the production of this video. Until the next episode, stay creative and keep making art.